All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Ryan Garcia had a big fight on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez versus Sergey Kovalev, but then blows it all by refusing to say that he wants Devin Haney, the other young up-and-coming star from the zone. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and it don't cost you nothing. Also, thank you very much to the two communities that support the channel, the Patreon community and the live stream community. Definitely check us out on Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, OG Boxing Talk with myself, my executive producer, Blood Boxing, co-host Curtis Anderson, KQKC Boxing, and the newest member of the team, Trap House Boxing. Now, Ryan Garcia, a lot of people ask me what I think about Ryan Garcia as a fighter, and my answer is always the same. I don't. I gotta tell you, there's a lot of people who are, accuse me of this on a regular basis, and I deny it, because 99 out of 100 times you're wrong about it. But on this one, you're right. I'm biased. I've got an unfair prejudice against Ryan Garcia. And let me tell you what it is. I don't like fighters who fight with their chin stuck straight up in the air. I don't like it. When I see it, I think it's just a matter of time before somebody knocks you straight up out the ring because you fight like this. I think fighters should fight like this. Some variation of having your chin protected, because X marks the spot when you get touched on your chin. So when I see fighters doing that, I just don't pay much attention to them until they fix it, because if they don't fix it, then hey, they're just waiting to get knocked out, especially a very tall featherweight that moved up to lightweight. Definitely, because the more he moves up, the taller the people are that he fights. And eventually somebody's going to land on that, and it's going to be night-night. Okay? Now, that's my first bias. My second bias. I don't like fighters that are celebrated because of their bone structure. I just don't. I don't like fighters that are where somebody like Sergio Mora can say, he's got the hooks and the looks. Sergio Mora said that multiple times in the telecast about Ryan Garcia. He's got the hooks and he's got the looks. Now, why am I prejudiced against fighters that are celebrated because of their bone structure? Because that's what you're saying. You're saying you like how the young man looks. He's a nice looking fighter. He fits my stereotype of what a handsome person is. And I don't have a problem with, one man recognizing that another man is handsome. That's obvious. You know who not to leave your girl laying around, or laying around, definitely not. Hanging around, that dude could probably, a woman's going to be attracted to him. And I understand that in sports, there's a certain amount of that goes on with marketing fighters. However, if the bone structure is the but-for cause of him being celebrated, then I don't want to deal with him. Same thing with Acelino Freitas. They did the same thing for Acelino Freitas. There are fighters who had that same attribute that people talked about, but that wasn't why they were celebrated, like Muhammad Ali. Anthony Joshua, I think, is somewhat in the middle of the two. A guy that can fight, a guy that people stereotypically think, is a good-looking guy, and they celebrate him. But Ryan Garcia is, from as far as what I can see, that's the sole thing. It was like they're looking for what's his name? Oscar De La Hoya 2.0 or 3.0 or what at this point in time, because I think there was other couple guys they tried to go with that route on. So yeah, I'll tell you right there. I don't. You ask me what I think about Ryan Garcia, the answer is I try not to. I try not to until he starts fighting somebody that is legitimate. So he fights this guy Duno. on the undercard of the Canelo Alvarez fight. And like I said, man, I watched it because I was there. You know, I bought DAZN. I was waiting for the fight to take place between Canelo and Oscar and whatever his name, Kovalev. But that's the only reason I watched it, because I knew what was going to happen in that fight. It was going to be orchestrated. He was going to beat Duno. I watched Duno fight before. Duno's a shorter fighter. He's a shorter fighter, a come forward fighter. He's a tough guy, but the reason why you say he's a tough guy is because he comes forwards and he takes shots. And Ryan Garcia has a stiff jab. He has a good, crisp right hand. He's got a nice one too. And it was just a matter of time before that 1 and that 2 landed. And that's what happened, and the guy won the fight. But after the fight was over, there's the missed opportunity. And the thing that I find interesting. Ryan Garcia is asked what he thinks about a fight with Devin Haney. Now, Devin Haney and he are the same age. I remember a couple years ago, if it wasn't a couple years ago, that Ryan Garcia was bragging about how he beat Devin Haney in the amateurs. And I do believe they fought like 3 times. It was either 4-2 or 3-3. You know, the rumors between what the record between the two and the amateurs are, you know, it shifts depending on who you're talking to. Personally, I'm not going out of my way to go do that research. I got better stuff to do with my time than wonder about whether a guy that Devin Haney will beat in the pros beat him in the amateurs. Stuff like that happens all the time. So what? It's the amateurs. That's what Devin Haney said in the interview. It's the amateurs. But when Ryan Garcia said, "Oh, I'm going to fight whoever my team tells me to fight," right? You know, I'm young. I've got time. I mean, Devin Haney's young. He got time. You're a lightweight, right? You're a lightweight. You should be wanting to fight for a championship against a guy that's the same age as you. Hey, man, the winner of that fight becomes really big. Is it going to be you, or is it going to be Devin Haney? And if you're that type of fighter, if you're an excellent fighter, hey, man, you should be able to go ahead and get Devin Haney out of there. Oscar De La Hoya would do it. Now, I'm not a big fan of Oscar De La Hoya since he turned drag queen. I ain't been a fan of him since that point in time. But hey, man, in the ring, and honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of him when he was fighting, because you could see a lot of prima donna-ish type of tendencies in Oscar De La Hoya when he's fighting. But one of the things that you could never say about Oscar De La Hoya when he's fighting is he wouldn't fight somebody. Oscar De La Hoya I don't remember Oscar De La Hoya even when he was coming up, not getting in there with people. Now, he did fight some people when they were older, right? And he did have that shoe shine stuff that he would do up against the ropes to get stoppages, which I thought, you know, I used to watch and be like, yeah, he's throwing a lot of punches, but those punches really ain't landing. But then the ref would come in and stop the fight. I wasn't always happy about that. But hey, man, he got the dude hurt enough to where he could do it. Oscar De La Hoya was a very, very, very good fighter. If Ryan Garcia is going to be cast in that mode, hey, why not do the same thing with him? I'll tell you why not. Because Golden Boy Promotions has 3 fighters, period. They have Canelo Alvarez. Kinda. It's more like Canelo Alvarez has Golden Boy. That's how I think about it. But they've got Canelo Alvarez, and they've got Virgil Ortiz, and they have Ryan Garcia. Virgil Ortiz is not celebrated because of his bone structure, because his bone structure does not look classically European. Right? He doesn't look like a conquistador. He looks like whatever the people that got conquistadored, right? Because isn't conquistador, I could be wrong. I think that means conqueror, right? But whoever it is came through the Spanish that came through what is now Mexico and took over the place. You know, blood and genes are spread all over the place. And it seems to me is whenever those genes pop out, those are the ones whose bone structures get celebrated. And that is, my friend, is Canelo. That, my friend, is Oscar De La Hoya. And that, my friend, is Canelo Alvarez. Okay, so, but that is not Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is celebrated because that dude is knocking people's heads silly. And he's got strength. He's aggressive. Hey, man, that dude I think Virgil Ortiz is going to be the real deal. Now, I want to acknowledge in this conversation we're having about boxing that I did not discover Virgil Ortiz. Black Fight Fan TV hip to me to Virgil Ortiz, and I'm looking forward to big things out of Virgil Ortiz. Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, nah. I see Ryan Garcia being somebody that they're going to build, that they're going to market, that they're going to give, that they're going to try their absolute best to give fights that he can win, make him look that he can look good in, and hopefully they can get a lot of teenage girls to buy the fights, to watch him wear blazers without a shirt on and come out in Wonder Woman capes before the start of fights. That's what I think is going on with Ryan Garcia. And he doesn't want no smoke with Devin Haney because Devin Haney is the real deal. Just be flat. Devin Haney is the real deal. Devin Haney, I don't care what happened in the amateur ranks, in the professional ranks, Devin Haney's going to X that dude. And he's going to X him right on that chin that is sitting as high as it possibly can sit. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.